In this section, I want to start talking about virtual LANs and when we are going to create a virtual LAN. I will create a virtual LAN when, let me write this, that's very important, when the number of devices in my LAN increases. I mean, I have more than, for example, 50, 100, or 200 devices in my LAN. And this is, of course, one of the main reasons that we will go for virtual LAN. And I want to go and segmentize different sections of my network. And to segmentize, each of us will go for separate criteria. For example, I prefer to segmentize my network based on the departments. I have, for example, HR departments, sales department, I have marketing department, I have, for example, R&D department, and I just put them into different VLANs, but they can still talk to each other. And this is the main reason that I will go for a VLAN. Let me talk about this a little bit more. Assuming that I have a switch here, this is my switch, and let me paint it in blue, for example. I have different switches connected to each other. This is another one. And they are connected to different devices. First of all, they have connections to each other. Let me use a ticker line. They have a connection to each other. And they have connection to different devices. A lot of devices. Assuming that we have multiple switches in our network and we are connected to more than, for example, 1,000 computers to each other. So this is going to be one of the computers, and this is another one, and another one, and that's it. Let me see this. Okay, we have a lot of computers and we have connected them using switches, and you know that switches are transparent devices. They just forward any traffic that they receive. Of course, they have some intelligence, but basically they are transparent. So if, for example, device number 1 sends a broadcast. You know, a broadcast is a message that is sent to every device in your network. If computer 1, for example, sends a broadcast, any computer in your network can receive that broadcast. Now, assuming that all of these computers, they are going to send different traffics and different broadcast messages to each other. And because we have a lot of computers, the probability that some of these computers are going to send broadcasts at the same time is going to increase, and it is increasing exponentially, of course. And this increase is very bad for our networks because this is going to use a lot of bandwidth. We are losing a lot of bandwidth to our broadcast. So, because all of these devices can hear each other's broadcast, they are in the same broadcast domain. So I write this. The broadcast domain is the same for all of these. But what I am going to do is to limit these into some portions. And you can create these portions physically or logically. For example, I can create a portion for some floor in my building. Or I can go, for example, for these logical segmentations that is much better than that, I guess. So I create VLANs, and I create VLANs and put these ports, for example, this port and this port and this port and this port into one of these VLANs so that they can hear only each other's broadcast. The other ports, they can go to other broadcast domain. They can go to other VLANs. For example, this one, and this one are in, for example, sales VLAN. And I may have, for example, this port, and this port in R&D VLAN. So based on these, I can segmentize my network virtually. I still have one VLAN. I still have all of these devices connected to these switches, but I have different portions, and I know that broadcast from device number 1 will only receive to the devices that are in the same VLAN with device number 1. Okay, the configuration of VLAN is very easy. We have 3 different places to configure VLAN. The first one that is deprecated, of course, and you should not go for that, is the VLAN database. In privilege mode, you type VLAN database, and you will be presented with some commands that you can enter, create VLANs, and that's it. In global configuration mode, of course, you have another option. In global configuration mode, that's going to be this, not like. Let me write this again. We have a global config mode. And global config mode, we have the VLAN command. And under interface configuration, we have another option. We can put this using switch port, switch, finally, switch port access VLAN. So we have these different options to create a VLAN. One of them is in privilege mode. It is a VLAN database command. The other one is a VLAN command under global configuration mode. And the other one is under interface configuration using switch port access VLAN command.